I start, I'd love my staff. I'm quite proud of the 3 women that are here with me. First, my Chief of Staff, Jane Campbell, who many of you know. Besides a legislator when we were teenagers, she was also the mayor of Cleveland, is now my Chief of Staff, and is a strong and long-term advocate for women in the United States and around the world. Ushia and Cynthia, would you all please stand? With so many efforts in my office, and I'm really proud of the team that I've assembled to try to help you in every way that we can. I first just have a few simple messages this morning. The first, of course, is to give our thoughts to the people of Haiti and to Chile. We ourselves on the Gulf Coast, particularly the city of New Orleans and our region, experienced just a catastrophic flood, actually. We say a hurricane, but we survived the hurricane. What we couldn't survive were the breached levees and the failed levee system that gave way and flooded a region larger than the size of Great Britain. And the water stood for weeks, in some places even months, because gravity pumps were needed to pump the water out. You can't pump the water out until you can fix the levees. That took a while. So here we are, 5 years. Katrina will be August 29th of this year. So as we, from New Orleans and South Louisiana, watch these horrific videos and pictures coming from Haiti and Chile, we can really sympathize with what many are going through. Not that the disaster in Haiti is even a larger scale disaster, and the people, of course, are quite less able and quite poor than we are, but nonetheless, our thoughts are really with them, and I want to commit to all of you all, not just because of what we've been through in Louisiana and the Gulf Coast, but because of my role as chair of the subcommittee on natural disasters and my seat, as Tamara pointed out, on the appropriations subcommittee. We're here for the long term, for the long haul for Haiti and for Chile on their recovery. And we're going to work very hard with a strong group to see that happen. Number 2, I have to follow up on what Maria said about how fortunate we are to have a leader like Secretary Hillary Clinton. She is just extraordinary in so many ways, not only as a great Secretary of State, but as a woman who has at her heart and her center all of the issues that we care about. We are so proud, I am actually, as United States Senator, to have served with 3 women Secretaries of State, Madeleine Albright, Condoleezza Rice, and Hillary Clinton. And I was sitting here this morning thinking how, what an impact that must have on the world all these last years. To have the most powerful nation in the world show up at any meeting, anywhere, and the person representing us is female. I think without a word spoken or without a dollar exchanged or given or received for help and aid, that speaks volumes for the United States. And I'm proud that all 3 of these women have served us so well. But particularly Secretary Clinton, because those of us that have been in the field of the battle for a long time know that every time you looked up in the foxhole, who was in the foxhole next to you, her head usually popped up, because she's been in this battle a long time. And I've watched her this first year as she's dealt with so many extraordinarily difficult situations, with the new administration finding their feet and getting their legs underneath them and helping us conduct 2 wars, the war on terror, many places, not just where we're actually fighting, and in so many other ways. And it's going to be, I think, wonderful to watch over the next 3 years and potentially beyond that, what she's going to be able to do to help us really do what we want to do, which is to put women at the heart of every funding, every program in every country in the world, and really give the extra push that we need to get so much of what we want done. So I really want to honor her leadership and say how proud all the women are in Congress, particularly those that serve with her in the Senate, but in Congress, of her leadership, and we look forward to working with her. Barbara Mikulski and I just had the opportunity to review her budget with her as members of the committee in the Senate, and we actually had a long exchange about this exact issue, and we're so pleased with her focus and her commitment. I know that I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'll preach anyway, just a little bit about why I get up every day and come to this job and wish I could do international women's work 24/7. There are other responsibilities that I have as a senator, and I do those as well as I can. But if the women in this room, the most educated and blessed in many ways, although we've all had certain amounts of hardship in our life and of course challenges, but if we don't speak up and fight for these girls and for these women, no one else will. And the bottom line is that no matter how tough the situation might be, how few dollars there are, when so many dollars are wasted around you, when you can identify and see, it's very frustrating to see billions and billions of dollars spent and wasted and siphoned off. We just have to continue to press for women to be not only at the table, but in control of as much of that money and aid and international aid as possible, so they themselves can redirect that help and support. And while we were successful a couple of years ago in getting about $60 to $70 million of the total pot of money that was going to Afghanistan, which is now billions and billions and billions of dollars, and we felt proud of that, we need to do so much more. I mean, the $60 million was a big number back then, but when I think about the money that we're spending in Iraq reconstruction, Afghanistan reconstruction, what we're getting ready to send, to Haiti, I don't think we need to be the least bit hesitant to ask for a minimum of 50%. Now, we're not going to get the carve out of 50%, but we shouldn't be, like we have been, the 10%, the 5%, the 20%. But really trying to focus on getting these redevelopment efforts at the core of it, not the fringe of it, helping women in terms of property rights, credit, ability to function in the economy, but also support for women and children and their families. In Haiti, for instance, I've been speaking with some of the Haitian leaders and trying to formulate, and Haitian Americans, in terms of thinking about how to rebuild this country and give it the opportunity that it's really missed now for so many decades and a long time. And one of the women from Vital Voices came to see me a couple of weeks ago after the prayer breakfast here, and she said, Senator, when we start putting all the plans together for Haiti, she says, I hope that you will communicate that if Haiti could have a rebuilding system that focused on women and families and women and their children at the core and the center, and then everything else was sort of built around that, we might actually succeed in rebuilding this country. And I think that was a very wise advice, and I'm taking that into heart and thinking about, as we shape this aid package for Haiti, what we really do to shape it, and to talk to the women on the committee now. You have Nita Lowy running the committee in the House. We've got Senator Mikulski, Senator Murray, Senator Landrieu. We have now some very powerful women in very influential positions to guide the billions of dollars that are coming from the U.S. Treasury to not just Haiti, but to Chile, to Afghanistan, to Iraq, to Israel, to Jordan, to Egypt, to places all around the world.